Hello and thanks for tuning in to Me and My Golf. I'm Piers Ward, this is Andy Proudman and it's time for the Impact Show.
Yes, and in today's show we are showing you how to build the perfect grip for golf. Now Piers, come on, 18th hole here. Let's see how close you can get it on over the water. Can you make it over the water?
We haven't got one in the hole yet on video, have we?
Ooh, pretty close.
Pretty close, but we still haven't.
Maybe a little more to the right, you'll be all right.
Never mind.
So look, there is no one perfect grip for golf. When you look at the best players in the world, they all have slightly different variations. And then what they've done is they found a way to play that works around that grip that enables them to actually produce a consistent impact. But that's no good to somebody who wants to actually have a guide of how to hold a golf club. So what we're doing today really is going to give you a simple guide that's going to give you the best chance possible to build a pretty neutral grip that's going to allow for maybe some alterations, but to produce a consistent impact. And also a couple of things what you should avoid too, because it's so important, Piers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting the hands in the right place. Just talk about why it's so important.
I mean, look, you want to be able to control the club, okay? So the hand's the only thing touching the club. So if you want to be able to create rotation of the club, putting the club on a good angle, using the wrist, you need to hold the golf club in a manner which can allow that function to happen.
So it really enables you to get the club face in a good position as well, doesn't it? So how you position is massively important to that face.
And I think that's what we really relate to, but there's other things as well, but that's the one thing that we really relate to is the direction of the face.
Okay, so look, let's get building a good grip, Piers, and we're looking to just get a pretty neutral grip that's going to allow us to produce a good impact. So let's start with the lead hand, your left hand.
So just quickly on that, we know that there's different styles of grips, different names of grip. We're going to go with a baseball grip here. We feel that if you're just starting, definitely should be starting with this, and we'll give you some reasons on that later.
Good point actually there, but we're just going to stop you before we get into that. A lot of people when they start with the hold,
you're going to go with it now.
I'm going to go with it now.
He's going to go with it now. It's that important.
A lot of people when they start with the hold, they get told that the first thing you need to do is to join or link the fingers together. Don't do that because it causes some problems, Piers. Just quickly show us that.
Tiger Woods does it, and Jack Nicklaus does it.
He does, yes, but not the first thing that they do.
Hey, you know what? This is exactly right. So let's just say you put the left hand in a perfect position. As Andy says, you've been told to do the interlock because that's the way you should start the game. Generally what happens is the hand comes in, it's as dramatic as this, and it goes for a deep interlock. So it jams in there, you then close the hand on the golf club. You can see that now, that looks pretty awful. It doesn't always look like that, but it often does look awful. Then you think, well, I need to try and fudge it round into the right position. You never really do. Before you know it, you're hitting bad shots.
So it puts it too much in the palm, basically, what we're saying. So let's build it, as you mentioned, Piers, the baseball grip. Let's start with the lead hand. Okay,
so this is just the simplest way to do this. So again, let's just hold the golf club. I'm holding the shaft with my trail hand, hold the club in front so the leading edge is pointing up. And then from there, what we're looking to do is we're looking to run the club from the middle of the index finger to the bottom of the little finger. Often we see this. That's death for a golf swing, in our opinion. Good for putting, good for maybe chip shots, but not for a full swing. So run it from the middle of the index finger down to the bottom of the little finger, and then simply close your hand on the golf club. We always like when we close as well to get this little bit of this cup shape in it. That really does help for the mobility of the wrists and the club. From here,
just quickly, Piers, we often hear sometimes knuckles thrown around.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of knuckles on the lead?
I mean, when I'm holding the club up here, I want to see all of them. I want to see all four of them. I know that as soon as I put it down on the ground, I'm probably going to lose one or two of them, but it's always nice when you're looking, you're addressing the ball, one or two, but when you're doing it up here and holding it up here, you want to see all of them.
Okay.
Okay, so the trail hand then simply just comes in from the side, almost like you're shaking hands. We always say, be nice to the golf club, it'd be nice to you. Again, running it through the fingers a little bit more. Close your hand on the golf club with the right thumb you can see sitting on top of the left thumb. That is a really nice baseball grip.
And with the right hand, again, we often hear, well, we should form a V between the thumb and forefinger.
Yep.
Where should this V in a sort of neutral position point to, Piers?
In a neutral position is going in between the ear and the right shoulder, the trail shoulder. Perfect. So anywhere in between there is really good.
Great, okay, so the hands are in a neutral place there. We've got sort of two knuckles-ish on the lead hand, and we've got the V pointing between the chin and the right shoulder. So just show us that down on the ground then, Piers.
Okay, so we put it down on the ground like so. I think the one thing that's very important when you're building a grip as well, be mindful of the pressure. So if you grip it too tight, you're going to limit the amount of movement that you have.
So that's a neutral grip there, perfect.
So if I look at that now, I can see just about that my V is coming up just right of my ear, my right ear, and I can see the two knuckles on my left hand.
Okay, now just freeze there for a minute.
Yep.
We hear some different terms for the grip, strong, weak. What does strong mean? What does it look like? And what does it cause?
Okay, so strong is when one or the other or both of the hands are, for me, the right-handed golfer, too much round to the right, okay? So when I start twisting my hands round to the right like so, we'd call that a strong grip. The reason we call it a strong grip is because when you take the club back, naturally the club face wants to go into position which has a stronger loft on it. You can see my 8 iron now, not only is it pointing left, but it's got less loft on it, which means it's going to go further as a result. So that's why it's strengthened the loft.
Possibly some shape to the left potentially as well when we get the hands too far around to
totally.
the right.
Potentially, again, it can obviously doesn't always mean that. So the other one we look at, the weak grip, is when the hands go the other side, so too much round to the left. It's rare we see both hands go round like that, but sometimes we do. And what this weak grip does is it weakens the loft on the club face. So you can see the club face now. This would be horrendous for driving, but actually pretty good for bunker shots.
For a
or
flop shot. Yeah.
So shots where you need immediate height, no power, and obviously sort of no distance on the shot.
So a weak grip can generally lead to that sort of weak ball flight to the right there. So we've got strong grip, weak grip, we've got a neutral grip. Now that's great in terms of the hands building a neutral grip, Piers. Let's talk about, or let's show the guys in terms of, from a baseball grip, the options that they've got to join them together once they've got it, because that's the key, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. No, look, we both use the overlap. You use the overlap, don't you? I'd nearly forgotten that, I don't know why. So let's go through the same routine again. So let's show you how quick it is once you get used to it. Okay, and then from there, I'm coming into, now I've got this baseball grip. Now, the options we have, the interlock. We spoke about this earlier, but instead of coming in from here, we can interlock now simply by just lifting those two fingers up, which are touching each other, and then fitting them into that gap. And again, just when you're doing this, be mindful, you're not jamming them in, you know, let them sort of interlink comfortably. That feels a little bit uncomfortable for me because I'm not used to it. So that's the interlock.
Yep.
The overlap, let's go back to the baseball grip again. The overlap is when we literally get the little finger on the trail hand and just sit it on top or in between the index finger and the middle finger on the lead hand. So on top of the index finger or in between, like so. I'm kind of in between because I've got quite thin, long fingers.
Okay, so we've got 3 options there. You've got the baseball, you've got the interlock, and you've got the overlap. And look, this is something you just have to experiment with and see what feels comfortable for yourself. Hit some shots, maybe doing all 3. If you play baseball, it's absolutely fine. It's all about really getting the hands working together to produce a consistent result. Look, there's no 100% right or wrong when it comes to the grip. All we want to do really is show you a guide that you can build and find what's going to work for you. That's the key.
And you can obviously, the reason we wanted to mention the strengthening and the weakening of the club face is because if you're slicing the golf ball, you could strengthen the grip. If you're hooking the golf ball, you could weaken the grip. You know, you can actually change the grip a little bit to, as Andy says, develop your favourite grip as the tour pros do. Okay,
so look, we're here on the beautiful 18th. It's a nice day here at the Asprey. Piers has probably got about a 9 iron in his hand.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can get it close, Piers.
I'm very mindful of my grip now, how I'm going to do this.
Well, you've got no excuses now, have you?
It's good for our own game, isn't it, these videos? Okay, let's see what we got.
Beautiful strike.
Left side, beautiful strike, but a little bit on the left side. So if I was playing golf and I did that all the time, I may even weaken the grip.
I think you might need to do that. Actually hit the sand a little earlier. Dig the leading edge underneath the golf ball with a little less loft. In this situation, we actually got a little bit of green to work with. If the flag was closer. Okay guys, look, hope that helps. Very simple guide there to get your hands in a good position, have a play around, see what works for you, and make sure you post any comments and questions down below. Now look, this month has been about breaking 100. Next month is all about driving. So if you have any questions about your driving and you want to improve, leave the comments and questions down below, and we'll see you next time.